All right, all right, all right. Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone's doing great. Hope everyone's doing amazing. Because I know I am. My name is Chad. I'm a motion designer, and I'm learning to draw every day just to prove to people that it's not really that bad. Um, all right, all right, all right. Things are very, very interesting. Uh, um, man, where do I even start? It's these days I'm going through are very okay. I don't even know how to describe them really. All I know is that they're very important, and the decisions that I'm going to make during these days are very important as well. But either way, I'm going to come out of them like a different person, a stronger person. Yeah. Like I said, I can't be, like I always say, I can't say a lot on streams because I try to keep my private life sort of like private. But yeah, it'll come a time where I can talk about this more in depth. Okay, I reckon we can just start. Um, I want to do something different. I wonder if we can do something different. Matter of fact, we can do something different. Wait a minute. We can do something different. Go on Pinterest. Wait a minute. We can. And let's grab a body. Been a while since we did one, and I think it'll be interesting. Let me see. Good Lord. This is interesting. Bro. Look, this is going to be, I feel like this is going to be extremely difficult because this is not a regular pose, but I like it. Let's delete this one, grab this one, put it here. All right, let's try to think about all the things we know already: proportions, shapes, and anatomy. Let's think about that and see what we get. Hopefully, obviously, trying to think about 3 parameters already feels like a lot, and even trying to apply them may feel overwhelming. I might focus on one thing and ignore the other unintentionally, obviously. So it's okay. Like it's okay. Right? So yeah, let's just start. First things first. I think we need to establish the horizon line here. And then on that we can build. And so there's this sort of, okay, this the body, most of the body or all of the body is on top of the horizon line. So that's already a good indicator as to where to place things. right? But then we need to draw a box. And so this is the direction. Feeling it's this way, this way, this way, this way. And we have some of it this way, this way, boom. Right? There it is. So that the neck is here, and it goes in here, connects, and then we have the head, face, jaw to the ground, boom, straight. That's it. All right. So far, so good. Let's carry on. We have another box here, which is very interestingly shaped. So like here, right? There it is. Maybe, yeah, I think we need to make it a bit longer. Because the proportions here between the body and this sort of like area, I don't know if it's the right word, but I call it the torso, is almost like half. This is half of this. And so we're gonna try to reflect that in here. Maybe we need it to be a bit less. Yeah, that. All right, that's enough. That's enough. All right. Next, we have the leg. Now the leg goes from here. This is a good cylinder to here. And this, it goes beyond sort of like this line. We have this, oh, this arm is such a good indicator as to where to place things. And it's a cylinder that's like almost straight up, just like facing us. So that's amazing. And then we can take it even sort of like there. So we're here, and it's making it like a turn almost. Right, so the leg is going almost, well, no, it's more this direction. Coap. And then from here to here. Right, and then we have the shoe. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, buckle some more. There you go. Okay, that's one. So like this is the butt, and it does this. By the way, I feel like I'm nailing this. Am I? Okay, proportions. This one doesn't really go beyond, so like this line. So that's interesting. And we have this like this direction. Yeah. Doesn't go beyond this. And then from here, we can go almost like a perfect circle, but it's facing like this direction. We can, it's safe to put it this way, to put it in here. And it goes, we have this, right? The leg goes like this. Almost 45. Yeah, towards the middle here we can place it. Interesting. So this is almost like here. And this one just goes like this. Oh, very interesting. And then here we have the shoe. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, buckle some more. Okay, then we have this arm over here. We're just going to focus on the proportions at this point. And this is very close to the face, so we're just going to keep it like this. But then this one is going to be just right towards here. And we have a cylinder that goes in here. And there it is. There you go. All right. Now hands. Hands are important. So go there. Go here. Go there. This one right here. This one right here. This one right here. And this one right here. For this one, how do I build this one? This one's interesting. Man, I miss anatomy practice. Such an interesting pose of the hands. This is almost like a clamp sort of situation. This one goes here, this one's above. Goes up, boom. This is not the traditional way I'm used to doing hands. So I'm not really sure, to be completely honest. Okay. Wait, I think I'm cooking. No, no, no. I know what's wrong. It starts from here. And then this one goes over. I don't even know. Go over here. And this one's over here. And this one, there's a finger going over there. But that's it. That's it. That's good. Do I want to add features? Let's see. I think we can stop here. This is amazing. Like, I'm feeling confident. Let's draw this old woman over here. Let's place her. That's it. I really want to add, I'm very tempted to add features now, but I need to I need to watch the tutorial. So let's just get into it. All right. Let's see. Color harmony, and we have the light and shadow video. Now, color and harmony, it was an interesting video. Does it really apply to me personally? Not personally, but in the context of like the streams. Not yet. But soon it will. Oh, look at this. I drew Duolingo. You know, the Duolingo mascot is Duo. Interesting. Funny. Color harmony. The color harmony is the combination of simultaneously displayed colors that produce a pleasing effect. And it gave me a new perspective of like using color. Instead of just like picking like primary colors, or not primary, but complementary colors, or tertiary, is that the right word? Colors or whatever, like these schemes, just like pick some shades that have sort of gray introduced to them, and then decide which ones you want to emphasize. So that's very interesting. All right, let's start. Light and shadow.
Break out your pocket watch and your paintbrushes. It's time for episode 6 of 10 Minutes to Better Painting. I am your cyberly gregarious host, Marco Bucci. Let's dive right into the lesson. Playwright August Wilson said, "The simpler you say it, the more eloquent it is."
Sheesh.
This episode is about light and shadow, which falls under the category of values. Values, of course, refers to the grayscale between white and black. Now, when we see the work of great painters like Frank Frazetta, Saul Tepper, John Singer Sargent, the quality of light and shadow gives their paintings a real dimension, like they're about to pop right off the canvas. And when I take the color away, the effect of light remains equally strong. You guys remember episode 4, right? Where we talked about how good shapes are an essential part of making good paintings? In this lesson, we'll be connecting our shapes to some values. And I say some values because a good painting does not treat the value scale like an all-you-can-eat buffet. If our goal is to paint light and shadow, we have to be very conscious about our shape-value connections. And this lesson will focus on just 3 values. 3 values.
Wait. Shape. Value. Connections.
That I consider essential to understand. 2 of those values will describe the light, and 1 value will describe the shadow. So,
okay, wait.
Focus on just 3 values. 3 values that I consider essential to understand. 2 of those values will describe the light, and 1 value will describe the shadow. So let's arrange a quick still life. How about a ball sitting on a floor? Okay, now we need a light, and our unpaid intern will switch on the light. Psst, hey, go grab me a coffee, would you? Make it quick, I'm dying here. I love interns. So anyway, our still life is just waiting for us to paint some light and shadow. First, we'll have to find some light and shadow shapes, and then we'll need to connect values to those shapes. But before I do that, there's a checklist of fundamental things that we need to know. First, see all those polygons? Those are called planes. Planes have a very specific orientation in space. You can put planes together to understand 3-dimensional form, which is handy when... Huh? What? Oh, do you? If you're so smart, why don't you just be a contestant on the brand new 10 Minutes to Better Painting smartphone game show? Get your tapping fingers ready. Here's question 1. Shadow values are what than light values?
Darker.
Okay, let's tally the answers. Darker, of course. Most of you nailed it. When you're painting light and shadow, your number one job is to keep the two separate. For example, the shadow values in this Frazetta painting are all way down here, and by contrast, the light values are way up here. We'll explore a little later how doing this really helps with clarity. But now, question 2. Generally, light travels in blank lines.
Wait. Light in straight lines. I know that because, you know, it's basic physics.
I know you feel this. Let's see what you got. That's right. Generally speaking, light travels through the air in straight lines. A phenomenon so reliable that most of us proved it in 5th grade science class.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's for all the marbles. How many types of shadow are there?
Okay, wait. I'm not sure. There's a darker shadow, and there's this shadow, and then there's maybe like, okay, maybe 2 or 3. I'm gonna lock in 2.
Final answer is...
Let's go.
If you answered all 3 correctly, today's grand cash prize is... I'm still looking for sponsors. So, in shadow, we have cast shadows and form shadows.
Yes.
And this Sargent painting has both. These are 2 shapes of cast shadow. Cast shadows happen where the light is blocked. Let's look at the nose. Light is coming in from this direction, and because the nose kind of juts out of the face, it blocks the light. And what we get is a projection of the shape of the nose onto the face. So cast shadows adopt the shape of whatever's causing them. Form shadows, on the other hand, occur when planes turn away from the light, and the resulting shape is determined by the particular arrangement of planes in that area. So moving back to our still life with our selection of values and our checklist of fundamentals, we can now add light and shadow. And remember, I'm only going to use 3 values. The first value will tell the viewer everything that's in light. So I'll choose a value that's pretty light, like this one. And because light's coming from above, I can just find every plane that points up and give them all that value. This row of planes is tricky. Are they pointing upwards or not? I'm going to say yes and give them the same value. So, every plane that was facing the light received 1 average value. In fact, I call that value average light. Now I'll give the shadows the exact same treatment. Even though there are 2 shadows here, the form shadow on the sphere and the cast shadow projected on...
Wait, didn't we say that 2 will describe the light?
...to the floor, I'm going to merge them together as one shape. Now I'll choose a value that is clearly separate from my average light value, like this one, and I'll fill it in. This average shadow value is called, you guessed it, average shadow. Now before I show you the third value, let's reflect on just these 2. They look kind of simple on a sphere, but simplicity is exactly the point. This figure's light and shadow shapes are more complex than the sphere's, but that doesn't mean your values have to get more complicated. A tiny bit of editing reveals that Frazetta is doing most of the work with just average light and average shadow. A similar edit on these paintings also reveals the same high contrast 2-value principle. But high contrast isn't always required. Sargent achieves remarkable subtlety here by bringing his shadows closer to the lights. But still, we can deconstruct it to see simple shapes of average light and average shadow providing the foundation. Okay, so here's our final value of the day. Remember this row of planes that's just barely facing the light? It's often helpful to reserve a value to describe that. So I'll pick a value that's just slightly darker than our average light. This'll work. And I'll fill it in. This value is called halftone. It can show where light transitions to shadow. Let's bring up this Sargent painting again. We've already looked at the light source and the shadows, so let's identify the other 2 values. We can pull an average light value from this broad area. Those values hover around here on our grayscale. Now we've got a whole ton of values from which to choose a halftone, so how can we stay controlled here and not treat the value scale like an all-you-can-eat buffet? Well, remember that shadows are darker than lights, and we want that to be very clear. Sargent's advice is to ignore the values that are close to the shadow, and instead choose a value closer to the average light. So watch.
Interesting. So the halftone should be closer to the average light.
Watch the painting. Here are some halftone planes. Remember, halftone planes are still facing the light, but starting to really turn away from the light. I'll fade that away now so you can judge how the halftones are just a step darker than average light before the values plunge into shadow. Now, the human head is far more complex than a sphere, so I'd like you to meet my art friend, the Asaro head, a 360-degree cast of the planes of the head. Using something like this as reference, you can move beyond a simple sphere and try to recreate different lighting situations on the head from your imagination. With enough practice, you'll find you can say a whole lot with these 3 simple values. And the simpler you say it, August Wilson, you got it. Well, that's the end of part 1, except something feels incomplete. What could it... Oh yeah, where's the unpaid intern with my coffee? So here's a photograph of me, actually, looking 7 years younger, and I want to show you how you can take this lesson and apply it to studying from a photograph. I'll be looking at the probably hundreds of values that exist in that picture and reducing them to just 3. That means I'll be losing a lot of information here. Real life has more than 3 values, but a big part of a painter's discipline is the idea of simplification, getting down to the bare bones of what makes form and light work. So using a fully detailed photo and simplifying it is a great way to build that discipline. One of the benefits of having only 3 values to work with is you can actually begin to draw with paint. You probably noticed I didn't start with a line drawing. I went straight in there with my 3 values, and I'm currently moving them around, painting over them, adjusting my shapes as I search for that clear form and light. Now, my goal here is not a portrait likeness. I'm not trying to copy the photo. It'll end up looking something like the photo. But more than anything else, what I'm going for is an overall statement of how this series of planes is interacting with the light source. So when you do studies like this, you're practicing both your lighting and your drawing. Even though I did not do a line drawing, I'm still drawing shapes. They're just shapes of value. Making good shapes is critical, so I'm constantly refining them. You know, I'm not trying to get them right the first time. I'll be the first to admit that I never get my shapes right the first time. But a big part of studying is putting something down, seeing where it's off, and then adjusting it. And having only 3 values to choose from is kind of like a life preserver that keeps your head always above water, instead of drowning in the sea of hundreds of possible values. I want to mention one more important thing, and that is I'm using edges in this demonstration. We talked about edges in episode 3 of this series, and I'm using them here to soften the transition between values and shapes. In part 1 of this lesson, I did not consider edges. Everything was kept razor sharp. But in practice, it's nice to combine these fundamentals, because after all, that's what they're made for. And the nice thing is, whether you're working from photos, from life, or even from your imagination, you can use this same approach.
Nice. I like that.
You know, I wouldn't blame you if right now you're wondering to yourself,
are 3 values really enough to make an impact?
that's a fair question, and in response, I'd like you to consider this familiar piece of music. A statement made with minimal means can still make a powerful impact. As far as light and shadow is concerned, you can use these 3 values to make a complete statement, or you can use them as the basis for something more complex. Remember that good painting, like any form of communication, is based on solid structure, and that's what we're pursuing here. So I hope you enjoyed this episode and... what took you so long? Show's over. Hire an intern to help with the show, and whoa, I get the one guy who can't even deliver coffee. And now you probably expect me to write you a letter of recommendation for a job at an animation studio. Well, I don't think so.
Wow. Alright, what's up, man? Being towards the end of the thing. But this is very interesting. No, shut up. This is very interesting. For example, the halftone trick of like it being closer to the light the average light than the average shadow, which makes sense, you know. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I like that. I like that. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. And yeah, all I gotta say is peace out.